Hello everyone, this is Matt from Real World Review, and today I have the Viltrox autofocusing 28mm f4.5 for the Sony E mount, FE as well, which means that it's a full frame mount, and surprisingly, it is very small. I mean, you can actually see it's about the same size as this microphone. Satisfying. Doesn't really have a lens cover or anything like that, and this lens cover per se actually holds the lens in. It even has a little USB-C port right here, and then here's the contacts for the E mount. But let me show you what's so special about this and why I actually ended up returning this. Yeah. Now, if you care about the specifications, here they are. This one is an E mount, technically FE, so it is a full frame lens at 28mm f4.5. So I believe that the shots I have on this APS-C Sony a6500 is around a 42mm equivalent. Honestly, the whole crop factor really confuses me. 6 elements in 6 groups with 2 ED and 2 spherical lenses. Viewing angle is 73 degrees. Minimal focus distance is 0.32 meters or a little under 13 inches. Autofocus only with a voice coil focusing motor or VCM. The lens is 15.3 millimeters thick and 60 grams in weight, making it one of the thinnest and lightest lenses out there, which is kind of the whole point of this pancake style. There's a little lever for the lens cap, but it kind of works like a shutter that covers the glass. The starburst effect is a feature, not a bug, apparently. There is a USB-C port for updating, which requires a phone app to do it. I didn't really test this out because I found where the software update feature was after I returned this lens. So sure, it's great and all, and technically f4.5 isn't bad as I normally shoot at f4. But 28mm is, well, 28mm. It's a wide shot that can work, but it's not great for everything, in my opinion. Let's take video, shot on an 18 to 135mm kit lens at 28mm conveniently at f4.5 as well, and here is the Viltrox video. The autofocus just keeps pulsing, and I'm not really sure if this is an A6500 issue, but I'm definitely not the first to say that this is not made for video. Then for photos, I have to say that focus is nailed pretty nicely. It was quick to focus and track objects, but there's one issue that I have, and I believe it comes down to the contrast issue. I tried my best to frame and light the exact same, again shooting with both lenses at 28mm f4.5, but shutter and ISO might be a little bit off in some photos, but generally it's going to be the exact same. The fact is that the Viltrox has what I call the budget haze. In this case, it's fair given that it is a $100 camera lens. Throw it into an editor of your choice, mess with the black point and contrast, and boom, a similar look to the kit lens. But in a size so small that the grip on your camera actually extends farther than the lens. And ultimately, that's the point. This is not for me, because I love my 24-70 f2.8, which weighs 1,020 grams, or the weight of 2 Sony a6500s with this Viltrox pancake lens attached. Know that all these shots are straight out of camera as JPEGs, not RAW. There's some slight editing that I can do, but overall this $600 18 to 135mm lens is good enough, and at least in my eyes is definitely better than the Viltrox lens, but 6 times better? Not even close. For me, no, this is not worth more than $50. That feels like the cutoff point where I won't really feel that bad buying this lens, but this is also something that I will truly never use. I spent $125 on my useless 50mm f1.8 EF lens, and I will say that I like the Viltrox better. Something I will say about the STM 50mm is that there is a noticeable amount of chromatic aberration to the point where I hate that lens even more now. But on the Viltrox, at least in my testing, I didn't notice any. There probably is some, as well as some fringing, but again, not noticeable in the shots that I took. For the average person looking at this lens wanting to buy it, I would say why not? This is crazy light and it definitely has its purpose, but it also may take some time to get used to, and maybe will be even better if you pair it with something more modern. That said, this is advertised on a Sony a7C Mark II, which isn't entirely a cheap full-frame camera. But compactness, that's what this is going for, and that's why I say this is the right move. At the end of the day, I enjoyed shooting with this lens, but look, if I have to carry a 3.5 pound setup to get a nicer 28mm f2.8, with the option of many other focal lengths, that's what I'm going to do. But if you want something similar to this, you're going to lose the size, weight, full frame, autofocus, or a lot more money, which all sound pretty bad. So in that sense, the Viltrox is the only option. I hope you enjoyed the video and are looking forward to more camera content, as I just ordered a full frame Sony camera and can't wait to talk about it. It's funny because I normally bash budget phones that are in this price point, but the difference is that while not perfect, this lens is still very usable. You may need to dial it in or just do some post-processing yourself, but I would say that it's a solid addition to your camera setup, assuming you don't lose a thing. Anyways, let's get to the actual outro. So with that, I'm going to be returning this, but I do enjoy having this little pancake lens. It just ultimately didn't work for me. So what do you guys think about the video, and what do you think about, well, I know what you think about video. It's not really good for that, but what do you think about photos and having a pancake lens like this? I mean, there's really a lot of questions that I have for this for you. Like, for example, do you even care about the pancake lens? Like, I personally don't care about the pancake lens. I would rather have a larger lens, or even like a slightly larger lens that does more, or a lower aperture. f4.5 is pretty bad in my eyes, and you can see in some of the photos and video that it's not really that great. There are moments where the depth of field is pretty nice, and generally I use a 24-105 f4, so I'm used to the f4, and even shooting on the 18-135 Sony lens that I have that I compare this to, that's also an f4.5 at that 28mm equivalent. Now, there is something to be said that I do have this on an A6500, so that's going to be an APS-C camera. This is a full frame lens, so will the full frame camera actually help? I highly doubt it. But hopefully you enjoyed the video, and like I said, I am returning this. It's only $100 though, so it's nice to have in your arsenal. It's just, I'm within the return policy, so that's why I'm gonna return it. Also, it just doesn't really fit what I'm going for. So what do you think? Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.